Alright guys, what's up? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video. I had a good question that came up. Someone asking about doing officer versus enlisted. This is always a tough question for me to answer because if I knew you guys better, I could answer it. But I'm going to give you the tools, hopefully, for you to understand when you should make that decision if you're joining. First off, you guys need to be emotionally and self-aware. If you can do that, you'll be great with this. What I mean by this is the prerequisite to be an officer is that you have to have a 4-year degree. Are you going to be able to finish a 4-year degree? And it's usually got to be in something that is not just like art history. And if you are, you're not going to be a specialty officer usually, and it's harder to go into other fields. Make sure if you are interested, make sure you're doing something like engineering or something, nursing, something of that nature. If you're going to go officer, do something like that and be aware that you're going to be able to finish it and then go commission. Are you ready to be an officer? And a lot of people, you're like, what does that mean? I'm going to go over that in this video, so stay tuned so you can see. Differences between officer and enlisted are this. With officer, you're going to get better pay. You're going to start out around what an E5 makes at a couple years in. However, your pay significantly increases within those first 4 years. And if you want to be an officer, there are a few ways to get in to be an officer. One, get your degree and apply through a recruiter. Second off is you can do an ROTC program where you go to a school that has a Navy, Army, or Air Force ROTC, and you can check out what they offer for scholarships. And the last way that you can do it is going to one of the academies. So what does it mean to be an officer? We all like money, so I start off with this one. You're gonna have better pay. So the benefits of being an officer is you're gonna start higher on a pay scale and you're gonna move up and you will make lots more as your time in service goes on and you guys make rank. Better living conditions. Officers will receive higher housing allowances, and usually officers are allowed to live off base instead of living on the ship or in the barracks or things like that. If you're enlisted, you're going to stay there. You get respect. So when you wear this stuff on your collar, you get more respect, you get salutes, you get all that kind of jazz. I always tell people this, you don't have to be an officer to get respect. You have to know your job well, carry yourself with some pride, and how you communicate with other people will really make a difference if you get respect. When I was on the ship, the officers had their laundry brought to their staterooms where they were able to have them pressed and things like that. Whereas enlisted, you're not going to have that. You're going to have to wash your own clothes. You're going to have to dry clean or press your own stuff. So that's one other thing. And the washers are hard to get. With their staterooms, they have a couple people per room, or sometimes it's just a 2-rack or something like that. So something to consider. Enlisted side, we have 3 high. It's tight, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people doing it right at this very second. When you are an officer, you have an opposite or a separate chow line. So when you're about to get food, they have their own line versus the enlisted side. And then the chiefs in the Navy have their own deal as well in the chief's mess. So officers are going to be able to eat faster than the enlisted. All of that stuff comes with a price, and that price is the responsibility. The scope of what an officer is looking at is the overall mission and how to make that go and what needs to be done, what tasks need to be done, right? Also, the top-notch representation. When you're an officer, there's very little room for deviance from what's expected of you, and that is very much because you are going to be considered a leader. You're going to be, in the eyes of other people, a leader, and that is key because we can't have leaders messing up, because that sets a bad example for the rest of the people, those enlisted guys and all that. While those are how the officer side goes, the enlisted side, some people want less responsibility, some people don't want all that. However, as you move up in the enlisted ranks and you make E7 chief or whatever, you're going to be the tip of the spear of people, and you're going to be managing them. And also at the same time, there's a lot of chiefs and E7s that do mentorship for junior officers. They're making sure that they are good leaders. So usually you'll have a chief E7 working with junior officers, making sure that they work as a team, because the officer is thinking about the mission and what needs to happen, where the chief is going to be thinking about how can I manage these people to get what the officer wants? While they don't have the same responsibility, they don't have the same presentation as seen as a leader at the lower ranks of enlisted, your enlisted will have a little bit more room for deviation. And that's because there's not the same role, not the same expectation as that. Those are some of the difference between enlisted and officer. In the general consensus, it doesn't include everything that's the difference, but just to give you guys some insight, if you're considering going officer or if you're considering going enlisted, what to think about. Like I said, be aware of what you feel you're capable to do. I understand the current school system in college is very scary in the fact that you're worried if you'll have money or not to complete the school. My suggestion, if you are totally not sure and you still are interested in the military, go enlisted. There's always opportunities for officer, and you can still go to school after the military if you're done, and you'll have the money for college either way. And if you guys were wondering, yes, even though I'm enlisted, I do have dreams or aspirations to be an officer. I did complete my degree, so with that being said, eventually I will be applying to be an officer. It's just something that if you want to do it while you're enlisted and then go officer, I always tell people there's something that you want. You should be thinking about that goal every day when you wake up. Or at least once a day, you have to be thinking about that goal or do something to achieve that goal. So every day I did homework, or every day I was doing whatever I had to do for school, reading or whatever, I thought to myself, I'm doing this because of this. This is my goal or my dream or my aspiration. So if that's your goal and you guys realize it's going to be tough for you, just go for it. That's all I can say. Just keep going for it. It's going to take a long time to pay off, but I promise you eventually that hard work will be noticed. That's just my 2 cents. I hope that will help some of you guys out there looking to make a decision. And if you guys have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. Thumbs up the video. Make sure you subscribe because I love seeing this channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time. Social media down below. Love you guys. Peace.
Yeah.